Salute, salute, salute. Peace and power, peace and power. I thank the universal truth and the absolute laws of nature for guiding me, protecting me, and giving me the strength to endure the imperfect. I shall attack with vigor, making progressive moves. A divine mind knows, a divine mind shows all things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. Peace and power. Oh my goodness. Very, very long day. Very long day. I'm telling you, it's getting no easier. But I'm here. As you come on in, know that this is a safe space. Know that this is a space for learning and getting learned up. This is a space for educating and being educated. This is a space for love. This is a space for question, for answering. This is a space for using intelligence to seek solutions on our path to liberation. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It's a heavy, heavy work. Heavy work. But that's what it is, baby. Welcome the struggle, because you can't get away from it. You have to meet it head on. You got to meet it head on. That's how we grow. So welcome the struggle. As my classroom assistants, come on in. Please make sure that all contact information and all funding information is in the chat for the duration of the class. Yes. Yes, indeed. And please, I cannot urge you enough. If you or anyone you know needs anger management, man, book your assessment. Book your assessment. If you are already in this group, get your sessions in. It is imperative that you do so, that you maintain a therapeutic space, that you maintain an engagement of making sure that you are in control, of your emotions. Very important. If you or anyone you know is in what you believe could be a domestic violence situation, please book yourself an assessment so you can be well informed on what to look for and strategies that could save your life. Remember, the life that you save may be your own. Okay? Let's get to it. I know it's late over here on the East Coast, but I couldn't rest. Without speaking on these two cases. And I couldn't let it be water under the bridge, as they're both seemingly right now, how they're being presented may become. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it, because these two cases speak to us about where we are with our young people, with our teens, and their ability to control their emotions, to control their thoughts, to respond to the world in a progressive manner. In the first case, which is out of Brooklyn, my hometown, right? Any Brooklyn classmates in the building tonight? Any of y'all? I don't see anybody. I see Jewel, salute. A Wood, what's good? Vitamin Vision TV, I see you. Andrea Jones, Florida done tapped in. Ken Williams, K Cool, Blackleaf, what's good? What's good? Tony G, C Blaze, I see you. Kenny Mac, DC's finest, what it do? What it do? GB, the intellectual soapbox. Is anybody? Damn, my Brooklyn. Where's the Brooklyn mob at? Geechee. From the night shift. Don't get fired. Don't come to class and get fired. I keep telling y'all right now, I don't have resources. I don't. So I don't have anything to send you should you get the pink slip watching class, being part of class. Don't get fired. All right? Make sure you got your earbuds in and you're doing all that what you're supposed to be doing. Don't get fired messing with us. Because we don't have it. This class here is not filled with wealthy people. So please, Geechee, tell Mr. Charlie that you're going to get your work done. Don't come over here get fired. All right? Now, as I was saying, this case is out of Brooklyn. And even for New York City, even for Brooklyn, this happens to be one of the most, oh my goodness, one of the most heinous cases we've seen in a good while. And we have witnessed a lot of wild shit in the past couple of years, man. We've seen some things, right? I mean, shit, we just witnessed this dude get 10 life sentences because he decided to shoot up the train early in the morning during rush hours, let off a smoke bomb and just start shooting. Right? Feds gave him 10 life sentences. So we know in New York City how wild shit gets. I mean, we seen 9/11. We seen all time. We witnessed it. We seen it all. But this case the other day, in viewing it, and we're going to go through what we witnessed. Like I always say, we have to pay attention and look from a different lens, right? And I noticed a lot in the video. And even for us New Yorkers, we make attempts to question a lot of what we see. So I'm going to, do my best attempt because someone did lose their life. And I don't ever want to be mistaken in our commentary, in our breakdown of what happened as somebody who is victim blaming, right? But there's quite a few things, that we witness. Hey, salute, Johnny Boy, Johnny Spain. Huh? Yeah. Okay, so in the first video, in the first case that we're talking about, happens to be the video that has now made national news of what they are, or rather, who they are describing as community activists, someone who, was fighting for a lot of different causes in his life. A man, a rather young man in his early 30s, Ryan Carson, who was stabbed to death on a Brooklyn street by a young man, young 18-year-old. Now, the video was disturbing enough. And now that the young man has been caught and he did the perp walk and we see him, for me, for somebody who's been an advocate for teens, an advocate for young black men, an advocate of anger management, I was definitely triggered, and upon watching the video, quite a few things stood out to me that, someone from my generation, it just didn't make a lot of sense. But I know that we're in 2023. And a lot of things that people do in New York City, specifically Brooklyn, don't make much sense. But here we go. Brian and his girlfriend, Ryan, pardon me for that. Mr. Ryan Carson and his girlfriend are seen in this video sitting on a bench, right in Bed-Stuy. I would say that where the bench is and how it's set up, that is part of the gentrification of Bed-Stuy. Okay? And in it, we know what the community, we know some of the temperament of the individuals of the community prior to gentrification and during gentrification could be. Now, again, we know at this point little about this young man, but we see Ryan and his girlfriend sitting on a bench at 4 o'clock in the morning. From what I'm reading, they were coming from a wedding party or something, and were sitting on a bench 4 in the morning in Bed-Stuy. As you can see from the video, Mr. Carson is Caucasian. That's neither here nor there, right? We are in a city that never sleeps, and again, with gentrification, we are all living among each other. But it doesn't negate the fact that a lot of people are not thrilled about it. A lot of people are still going through the same struggles that they've been going through prior to that. Okay? And again, it makes me wonder what kind of mental space they were in. I'm sure that if this young man goes to trial, there will be a toxicology report on Mr. Carson. I'm almost sure that would be part of the defense. Should this young man go to trial? I don't know. Everything is caught on video, so that would be a very complicated trial, to say the least. However, you see this young white couple sitting on a bench 4 in the morning in Bed-Stuy. In comes a hooded figure in the frame, kind of walking aggressively past the couple. As you see, as we're watching the video, we see the couple, and from that point, I'm not sure if they even paid attention to this young man. But he walks past them aggressively, keeps walking, and once he gets a good distance from them, it seems that they at that time decide to leave. So they stand up, and then you see the young man, good this bit of distance in front of him, begin to angrily start kicking bikes or motor scooters or whatever was parked right there. He begins to kick. He's having a moment, and you can see that. Again, I'm looking at the couple, and now I believe that's when they see him, and he's having this moment. As they're walking past him, or coming close to him, his anger, his fit, his rage now focuses in on Ryan. And words were exchanged, and you can tell from the body language that Mr. Carson was trying to figure out a way to either de-escalate the situation or, keep himself safe. However, whatever words were exchanged, he didn't do it. It was ineffective, and now the young man backs out a knife. When you see the knife, that's when you can hear Mr. Carson say, "Yo, chill," or "chill," and tries to, stiff arm or put an arm between him and this young man. The young man hooks on him, attempts to swing again. Mr. Ryan takes off, and as he takes off, he falls, boom. And from what I'm seeing, I believe he hit his face and head on the bench, falls over, and the young teen jumps up and stabs him. After he stabs him, he gets up and he's focusing on the young woman, curses at her, spits at her, and made threatening motions towards her. He leaves the frame. You see this woman in shock. And then you see a woman come up, a young black woman come up, speaks to her, saying, I guess she's apologizing and whatever she's saying, and then she leaves, and we find out that Mr. Ryan was unalived at that point. The young man didn't get caught until today, right? And when he's coming out, when they bring him out of the precinct, he's crying. You can see he's crying, he's hurt. And that's where we're at right now. That's where we're at right now. Young man is 18 years old. As I said, we know very little about him. But from watching the video, and as I always do with people that I say just got here. When I'm saying just got here, I'm saying that young people at 18, right? Just got here. You was just born. And I make an attempt to think about what was the themes of his life that have him so enraged at that point. Is it a mental health issue? Was he on meds and was on the wrong prescription? There was a lot going on at that space that he was that angry, that enraged, and then coming out of the precinct, None of that was displayed. You can see the remorse. You can see the sorrow. You can see the anguish on him, because he can, at this point, not even understand the consequences that's to come. I always tell you in class, we don't have a monopoly on violence. If we can get it, we can surely give it. And if we can give it, we can surely get it. Nobody has a monopoly on violence. So we always say in this class, remain militant, soldier up at all times. Again, it's not victim blaming, but I'm always in a position where I'm making an attempt to put people in a perspective of fight or flight. Fight or flight. You dig? What are we doing here? Again, fight or flight. As I'm looking at the size, a lot is going through my mind. And as I have said in class numerous times, right? People will unalive you on accident. On accident. I mean, so people that are angry and with purpose and coming with an intent to harm, you must do whatever you can to protect yourself. All right? I question that. I question if they were drinking or smoking or doing something that would have them out at 4 a.m. in the middle of Bed-Stuy. Like, there's a lot going on with what we're witnessing. How somebody who was such an advocate and does so much community work and work with have to be hundreds of different people cannot recognize, immediate danger. It's just a bit troublesome for me to look at that and believe that the sequence of events was just that clean cut and simple. But our young people need help. They do. Serious help. They don't need to be lied to anymore. There has to be a different way that we communicate and nurture them. If not, these cases will become more frequent, right? We already witnessed a couple of years ago the two brothers, 22 and 17, who tried to kill their parents. I don't know if y'all remember that, but they drugged their parents. And because the dosage wasn't enough, when they were attempting to stab their parents, they got up and was able to make a call on 911. You understand? This is what type of time we living in, that there's a disconnect that our youth is having with some very basic emotional pieces there. There's a disconnect. And it's very real. It's very real. And that's what places all of us in danger. We always have to be on point. Which is why I don't pay people any mind when they try to talk that kumbaya and melanated and black and everything is this and that, and you shouldn't try to harm your brother and all that other. Miss me with that shit. That's fantasy shit. In real time, somebody that looks just like you that's having a bad day will try to take you out based on whatever they believe at the time. Damn what you believe. So I am of a military perspective as a soldier and always on point. There's some weird phenomena. There's, I mean, unexplainable, where we have people, the closest people to you, family, friends, associates, that have been possessed with some bullshit, and they will kill you. They will take you up out of here. So we have to, in our heads and hearts and with the best intentions, walk with love, walk with care and concern for our people, but recognize that we are living among some very sick people. And no one should ever allow themselves to be harmed. Understand? No one. Okay? Now, in this second case, community activists, right? Nicknamed BooPac Shakur out of Michigan, was unalived by 2 teens. And this happened right before the weekend, right before last weekend. Damn, we in Thursday already, so almost a week ago. Unalived by 2 teens. Now, Mr. Shakur, well, really, the government is Robert Wayne Lee, was an advocate for children, for the welfare of children, and was on some peace officer vigilante shit, trying to snatch up all the, the peds, the dudes who like to, entice little children, right? So he would expose them. He would capture them on video. He would, try to lure them out, sort of like the TV show To Catch a Predator. And he was doing this for quite some time. I mean, doing it for so long that, police was telling him, you gotta be easy. Watch yourself. We're not telling you to do this, and we may not be able to assist you, and you keep putting yourself in harm's way. So this is what he was known for, and he was on social media, and, he was going around, and he was doing a lot with that. There was a confrontation between him and 2 teens Friday night. And in his own backyard, in this town where I'm sure everybody knows him. Didn't matter. Whatever this confrontation was, these teens unalived him. Right there. Right there. So this person who was seemingly doing good. Right? I mean, when you're making an attempt to keep children safe, to keep children out of harm's way, we would believe, that they would get the good graces of the universe. But that didn't happen. Didn't happen. He was unalived by teenagers. Teens. Now, again, I don't want to make it seem like I don't understand that energy coming from teenagers, because I do. I gave stories many a times of how we were running as adolescents in New York City, in Brooklyn. I know the energy. I know the language. I know the thoughts that run through your mind when you're 16, you're 17, you're 18, and there's nobody to help you facilitate what's going on with you inside. And when issues arise, even the most intelligent of us, at the end of it, there was always some wayward means, right? In between our problems and what we thought was a solution and and the end result. And 8 to 9 times out of 10 of that had violence somewhere up in it. And many a times the violence didn't end well for the victims, or somebody who got caught up in that path. I know that energy. I know that, which is why I always tell you in class, listen, give me your kids, man. Give me your teens. Give me your little nephews. Give me your nieces. Give me your young adults in their 20s. You dig? Who people may not have time to speak to them, right? Who may want to say certain things to them, but they just not comfortable. They don't know how to speak to them, or again, they're so busy making a way that, they don't have that message. They don't have that discipline. Give them to me. I know what that's like. I know what it's like. And these young people are making these decisions, and these decisions are going to cost them years of grief. And if you care about them the way you say you do, if you love them, if you want to provide for them, if you are keeping them in your prayers, if you're keeping them, in a space where you want the best for them, it's a lot more than just the want. You have to do it. You have to do it, because every day we're losing them. We're losing them. But not only are we losing them to themselves or to the system, but in the course of us losing them, they taking one of us out. They're taking out an elder. They're taking out a woman. Do you understand? They're taking out a kid. They just locked up 4 or 5 kids. Where was these teens from? Was they in Florida? On how for shooting up a spot and unaliving a 3-year-old gorgeous little girl. I'm telling you, we cannot turn a blind eye to this. We cannot shrug our shoulders with it. You cannot give up on them. No, there is no way. Can't do it. Can't do it. It has a ripple effect. Everything that they do has a ripple effect. Everything they do, that's what happens. We are responsible to and for each other. It's just that simple. And when these young people become isolated in their thoughts and there's no one to reach them, they will begin in a retarded fashion to garner up a belief system of their own. And if we're not careful, we become victims of their truth. You understand what I'm saying? Not the truth. We become a victim of their truth. And if their truth is that we don't deserve to live, if their truth is that we don't have a right to live, if that's their truth, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Yes, I saw that. I saw that lamp. 11-year-old just popped 2 13-year-olds in Florida. Yep. Exactly. This is what we're going through. This is what we're going through. And I'm not saying it's easy. By no means. I'm not saying that. But certain it's little text. Like I showed you this before, right? This is mental health first aid, right? And it gives a breakdown of almost every mental disorder, some of the symptoms, what to look for, right? So you can see it. And you can make an assessment of somebody in your home or somebody in your charge. These are the things that's needed. It's needed. Because we are the ones, this is in our backyard. This is what we should be worrying about on a regular basis, because this is in our backyard. When you're not able to go and visit your elders and they have to fend for themselves, right? They come in contact with these little monsters who are raging inside. So we have to do it. The same way you find other things important, there's nothing more important than how we deal with each other, how we teach and educate each other, how we live amongst each other. And when you see it, you don't have to ever confront it, but you make yourself aware of it. You make others aware of it. And then collectively you can do it. Yes, indeed. Indeed. I mean, the All-American Justice System Handbook at this point is what this 18-year-old family needs, especially if they've never been through the system. They would need that. They would need that. So his name is Brian Dowling. If his people are tagged in this video, they need that. They need to order that. The All-American Justice System Handbook. Because at this point, he's going to be in the justice system for a while. So they would need to be equipped with how to insert themselves in that process, should they want to. They may not, or they may want to because they have an idea of what's going on with him. You understand? They may know that he might have been on a specific medication that didn't work well. They may know how manic he is. So, but again, we have to know specific signs of somebody who is in a mental health crisis. Right? Get it. If you can get it, get it. Get it. It gives you a breakdown of everything. Mental health, first aid for youth and young adults. How to communicate effectively with young people. You dig what I'm saying? Be genuine. Be careful about using slang, right? Allow for silence. Try different settings for communication and see which best works. You don't want to get into a space where you using slang, right? Because again, you may not know what it really means. They may have a different meaning for it, and now you looking crazy and sounding crazy, and it puts you in a space where you may be beneath them, as opposed to you meeting them where they're at and they acknowledging you as somebody who is assisting them, right? You dig? It's a lot. It's a lot in here. These are things that I walk with up here and utilize on a regular basis, right? You gotta know what's going on. Psychosis in young people, a whole chapter on psychosis. This is a first aid joint. You don't have to be an expert, but you have to be prepared because you never know when it's going to meet you somewhere. You dig? It may meet you somewhere, right? Risk factors for disorders in which psychosis can occur. Shows you what to look for. Have sudden outbursts or explosive, highly emotional reactions, as we saw in the video, appear, changed in a way that you cannot quite describe, right? At school, the young person may, appear unmotivated, distance themselves from peers, show a decline in completing work, have inappropriate or no relations to others, or no reactions to others. Hallucinations. It's a lot, man. This is all I take time with. Because I got to be on point with this. I got to be razor sharp with it. This is what it takes to do the work. And even in doing the work, I'm not safe. Nah, I'm not excluded in the danger that come from working in the community. There's no exemption. You understand? So I need to know how to speak multiple languages. I need multiple ways to communicate, verbal and nonverbal. This is what we're living in. This is what we're living in. Ain't no money going to change that. It's not. It's going to take a lot of work, a lot of research, a lot of talk, a lot of applying, you understand? And then helping us to get skills to determine the quality of our life. Got to do it. Got to do it because these are young people. Young, and they're getting younger and younger. which means that there's something going on and there's something going wrong with us. When you have 11, 12, 13-year-olds looking to unalive somebody. You hear me? 11, 12, 13, 14-year-olds blowing people's heads off. You was just 8. Some of them still peeing in the bed at 8. And 3 years removed from that, they ready to got the slammer. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. And we have to correct that. If not, we're going to keep losing them. And we're going to continue to live in communities, to live in neighborhoods that are that is threatening, where the neighborhood and the community is the threat. How do we function? How can you function in that? Corey Smith, BooPac was your man's. I hear that. Did you go out and do work with him? Or is this just somebody you know from the community, somebody you went to school and stuff with? Because now that, unfortunately, he lost his life, somebody would need to take up where he left off. I mean, that definitely was good work to a certain degree, And it's a shame that, that he lost his life not in the course of doing that work. You understand me? Somebody was angry with him. There was a situation where anger was involved and it escalated. You dig? But, again, I just want to come on, and certain evenings I'm not able to just rest. I just can't rest with certain things. Certain things I have to speak to when they come. Can't do things how he did. Unfortunately, he was one of a kind. I hear that. And much appreciated as well. And thank you for engaging, and letting it be known, And we send condolences to his family. Because, again, a lot of people attempt. I don't approve of everything he did or how he handled things. Okay. Well, I don't know much about him other than that's what he was doing. But I'm sure I could understand what you're talking about, especially if he dealt with law enforcement to any degree like that, I'm sure of that. I'm sure many people would take issue with that, as we do, I, for one, would seek. Nope, never watched them. Excuse me, never watched them. Because, again, it's not in my lane. It's not in my lane. Because we're speaking to the fact that he was unalived by teenagers. And that is the issue. Just as a teenager committed or allegedly committed this crime in Brooklyn tonight. And we're speaking to the fact that our youth are the ones who are misguided and seeking some type of solace and they don't know where to get it from. That's why we're speaking on him, not his work. As we said, you know, he wasn't out there doing any bullshit. I mean, if we're wrong, let us know. Oh, I will. I will view his videos. But again, does his work have anything to do with what the teenagers are accused of doing? Right? Because in both of these cases, their work had nothing to do with the circumstances that led up to their demise. That's what the report said. We have more questions. All right. So again, class, y'all know what we do around this time. All right. Y'all know what we do. Hey, Dr. Sebastian, y'all know what we do around this time. Same time, I'm telling y'all. Don't believe in me. Believe in my belief in you. Kenny Mack, we're going to get some more video breakdowns. But again, like I said, the work. Matter of fact, I got a video in mind for video breakdown that is right there that I can utilize it for the work as well. I got one for you. May get it in tomorrow morning. All right. And you just want these video breakdowns again and send them through. Because again, once we get past a certain era, all the videos started to at least make a little bit of sense. You dig? Yeah, you gonna get some, yeah. You're gonna have some good vibes. That's without a doubt. That's without a doubt. And again, be on point. Be careful. You understand? Be careful out here in the mix. There's a lot going on. A lot of people are not mentally fit. And you are supposed to always make it home with all 10 fingers and 10 toes. Make it back to class with all 10 fingers and 10 toes. Okay? Limit. You understand me? Limit any confrontations in the street to that degree. You ain't getting paid to be no street fighter. You dig? We ain't on that type of time. That's not how soldiers do. We meet transgression when we know that we're going to be victorious. You understand? You fight on your terms, not on someone else's. You don't fight because people say, fight me, fight me. Nah. All right? So class, room assistants, always good looking out for the whole down. And you know what? We ain't get 155 tonight. Y'all peep that? Did y'all peep that? Now 155 tonight. But we only got 61 in the building. Yeah, that's why. We only got 61. That's why. We a little light tonight. We're a little light tonight. Again, if I'd have put Booty Hole Brown Girl video up there, we'd have had 400 or 500 in here. Nah, ain't that type of party, baby. You dig? There's a time and a place for all that. So again, salute. Y'all take it down. Rest up. If y'all in Cali, y'all probably out there playing dominoes or something. You dig? On the East Coast, we getting ready to get up under them goddamn sheets. All right? Peace.